Hello everybody and welcome back to the tournaments. Today it is the morning. We will be watching the Asian tournaments. We have Rat playing a cost control specialist versus Happening, the mini European advanced group 4 champion with the Rhino specialist. Now there has been a major update to the game, several unit changes as well as a brand new missile interceptor deployment. Now this missile interceptor is not as good as most people would think. It doesn't block 100% of missiles, but it has recently caused a bit of a shift in the meta where we might see a little bit less storm callers, if that was ever a concern of yours. Looks like Rat is going to have a little bit more HP than Happening, and Happening seems to be playing very passively. This might not go so well if Rat does decide to go super ham with this aggressive play. In fact, Rat unlocked and purchased a unit of Stormcallers early. This actually will pay dividends for him, especially if these Stormcallers... I hate that bug. When you click on something and the unit moves, because you're not the player moving it, it just keeps sticking on it. But anyways, it looks like Rat will be doing a little bit of the Stormcaller cheese with the range. He should be able to just basically pop this tower every couple of turns. There will need to be something here to defend against that. Rat did also play some crawlers in the backline. That should be enough to protect him short term. There's a little bit more wave clear here for Rat as well in the form of these Stormcallers, and it looks like the crawlers are already getting on the tower. Oh no, this tower dropping is huge. One, it slows down the crawlers, so they're much more likely to be hit by these Stormcaller shots. But of course, two, units take a lot more damage once the tower does drop, as well as move significantly slower and deal less damage. It's just an all-around bad time, and it looks like this headbutt is going to be wildly successful. The last fall of the steel balls, ooh, and the other tower though. I was going to say these Mustang might be able to get in here and deal with these Stormcallers a little bit. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. These Stormcallers know their business. They've earned a ton of XP. I wouldn't be surprised if those Crawlers earned a level as well. We'll check that here in a second. Let us see. They did. They did earn a level. Rat most likely will want to skip here as well. I was going to think that Happening might go with the Assault Fang, but choosing not to. Rat might be interested in the Underground Threat, which is causing him to wait a minute, but let's see what old Happening does. It is going to be 3 units of Arc Lights, just to help clear away these Crawlers a bit. That could be the case. Oh, no, it's going to be 2 units of Arc Lights and a unit of Crawlers. Happening does go with the Heavy Armor, most likely to buff up one of these Steel Balls. Oh, no. Steel Ball no more. Heavy Armor on the Vulcan. Wow, that's going to be insane. This Vulcan's going to have a ton of HP and be easily able to deal with a lot of these units. Now, something that Rat might have to deal with is the rest of these units are going to be significantly faster than the Vulcan. So I'm not sure the Vulcan will get in range to deal damage before the rest of these units are dead. I would like to see that Vulcan positioned a little bit farther up, but I understand the importance of leaving a unit there. Looks like another unit of Crawlers as well for Rat. Happening is good to go. Where did those units of Crawlers go? I don't... Ah, there they are. Far back. Okay. Let's see if this Vulcan ever deals any damage. I would be somewhat surprised. There it is, killing off a unit of Crawlers. That's pretty useful. It should be able to grab the Mustang here as well. Wow, the positioning on that is actually working very much to Rat's favor. Unfortunately, a hard loss on the left. We'll have to see whose tower drops first, and it looks like it might still go the way of Rat, just because this Vulcan is still alive. Yeah, Vulcan's still up. It's going to take a huge amount of pounding from these level 1 snipers, and with the tower gone, I have to give this to Rat. Question only becomes, will the Vulcan survive? If the Vulcan lives, that's a huge amount of damage that will go out onto Happening. Happening did spawn with a good amount of HP though, so he should be able to take a few more of these rounds without much of a problem, but you just don't want it to become a big issue. And the Vulcan gets distracted. That's not good. The Vulcan might actually die here because of that. Oh no, sniper death does go down. Alright. This goes the way of Rat, as we expected. And it turns out pretty good positioning here on the Vulcan. Vulcan was able to clear up a lot of those units. It should be able to get the Arc Light and save these Stormcallers from the Crawler menace. Look at him go! Oh, he just saves them. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that the Vulcan would just snap back into where his feet were looking at. That's kind of weird. Amp Core coming out for happening. Rat could go with the intensive training. That would be pretty darn good. No, Rat goes with the Amp Core as well. Most likely just to slap that onto the Vulcan. The Amp Core is what I would consider an S tier pickup. It is so strong. Just improving HP and attack is great. Here comes the Phoenix. Alright, looks like... oh, wow. And happening actually gets his Rhino now. So he's going to have a super tough Rhino to help deal with this fire. As long as the Rhino kind of avoids the steel balls, he should be in a good spot. Looks like Rat is just going to try and delay this left-hand side as much as possible. And the Amp Core actually being placed on the Phoenix. Okay, there's only 3 snipers and 2 Mustang. That is more than enough anti-air to deal with 2 groups of Phoenix, but we shall see if it's enough. Here comes the Rhino, and the Rhino should be able to absorb a huge amount of this damage. Unfortunately, these Phoenix are right on top of him. And they will probably clear away this Rhino very quickly once all 4 shots are going out. Oh, some are still shooting at crawlers. The Sniper's online, picking off Phoenix as well. One group of Phoenix is already down. That missile was not enough to deal with the left-hand flank, and down goes the Rhino. Yeah, I think that those Stormcallers really made a big difference, as well as just the very tanky Rhino. And this looks like a very well-placed defense here from Happening. Rat is going to lose a significant amount of HP. Happening evens out the game. Still just up an inch behind, but well done by Happening. Happening skips again. Rat might be tempted by the Lightning Storm. I'd be interested to see if he picks it up, just because these units are all bricked out. One Lightning Storm in this area would deal a lot of damage, and if the game continues to go at this slow cut pace, both players should be in a good spot for Happening to be able to use that one more time. He's thinking about it. Really needs to defend this left. Honestly, a Vulcan on the left would defend it exceedingly well, but that would mean he was almost certainly doomed on the right. Oh, what did Happening pick up here? It looks like he opted to skip because he has 50 bucks. All right. Steel balls are just going to try and menace their way straight at the tower. I don't think they'll get there. I think they'll get intercepted by these crawlers and stuck. We shall see, though. Oh, we see a unit of Fang come out as well. Those Fang are doomed, but they will delay for an extra second. It's just a speed bump. I think Happening's play of getting the extended range on the marksman is extremely good, just because it will allow him to kind of plink away at all of these smaller units without the Mustang getting in range of the steel balls. And we see the Phoenix being pulled back significantly. Yeah, I think that's a wise decision. Rat needs to clear away a lot of these crawlers and a lot of the chaff in order for the Phoenix to really make any difference. Unfortunately, I don't think there's enough wave clear for Rat. The positioning here by Happening is just marvelous, because the Rhino is most likely going to be the thing that takes a lot of the damage. Oh, wow, Vulcan on the flank. Okay, will the Vulcan live? It looks like it will live long enough to deal with this. Oh no, the fires go out. It got one unit of crawlers, but more importantly, it did enough to pull everything away. The Rhinos, or sorry, the steel balls were able to get through without the Rhino there to defend. Wow. Heck, even these Fang are getting some kills on the left. Very well done here by Rat. Great positioning, good change-up of tactics. We'll have to see what Happening does to deal with that Vulcan on his right flank. This Vulcan's going to get a ton of kills. It probably will not level, but yeah, there's not enough here to reinforce this. That is unfortunate. Well played here. Really well played here by Rat. I would not have thought to put that Rhino on the flank, and that's why Rat is one of the best players. Very interesting, very well done. This will be a quick cleanup here as the Vulcan just slowly gets himself into range and burns the rest of these Mustang down. As long as that sniper falls, there's really nothing else here that can contest the Vulcan. And even then, I think the sniper's just going to die to these Stormcallers. Yep. So Vulcan will take a minute to burn everything, commit some more war crimes, and off he goes. Great job, little buddy. Ooh, and you gotta love that extra 400 damage. Alright, the Vulcan in the backline here for Rat is extremely important. Let's see what Happening can deal with it. Subsidized Mustang. Interesting. Does he grab more Mustang? No, it's a Fortress. The Fortress would do it. Oh, the Fortress would do extremely well against the Vulcan, but given that there's no longer a Vulcan, I think very well played there. Vulcan goes out on the left. And this is a very, very good play here by Rat. So this fortress is going to take a long time to get in and deal damage. Unfortunately, the steel balls are positioned such that the fortress will do fairly well against them. That's why we see Rat kind of moving these units away, because he's realized, hey, whatever happening puts on this right-hand flank, if it can deal with a Vulcan, it can probably deal with my little steel balls. So I want to get them moving and grooving out of the way. We see a lot of Vulcan and quite a few Fang. Interesting. The Fang are here to absorb the shots from these marksmen, and I think that's a very wise decision. Really, that's the only single point damage besides this big old fortress that happening has on the field. Granted, with enough Mustang and range, they may eventually be able to kill a Vulcan, but it's just unlikely. We'll see what happens. Oh, and I like this upgrading of the Phoenix, just because the Phoenix need to be here to deal with this Rhino, and that Rhino has taken a long time. Wow. Unfortunately, it looks like the Vulcan are mostly committing friendly fire at this point, killing off huge swathes of their own units. The Phoenix get distracted. We really needed those here to take care of this Rhino, but the steel balls are enough. Great job. Rhinos are doing all right. They're getting some good damage in. Down goes the tower. Oh, man. Unfortunately, these Vulcan, I feel like they've committed a lot more friendly fire than they have anything else with the incendiary bombs. Let's see if these Fang walk straight into this incendiary pile. I think so. And given the units on the field, I'm thinking that old happening has this. The Phoenix might claim the tower at a really important part, though. Ooh, they need one more shot. I don't think they'll get it. Yep, happening does take this. Well done, happening. Oh, that fire did actually come good for just a second there, burning off a couple of Mustang and a sniper. And it looks like the Phoenix was able to get a couple more kills because of it. Yeah, with the amount of crawlers that Rat has on the field, I'm really surprised he chose to go with those incendiary bombs. As we could see, those incendiary bombs cooked off a lot of his own units. Top supply coming out here for Happening. Wow, if Happening's able to survive another 2 rounds of the game, he's going to do extremely well. Happening chooses to grab 2 more units of Fortress to help deal with these Vulcan. What did Rat choose? Oh, melting points. We see a huge giant transition from both players. Lots of giants on the field now. I wonder if Happening will be able to counter this. As these Stormcallers continue to level, they're very good against giants. I'd like to see this Stormcaller get that level, just because all of the giants here for Rat are level 1. And if these Stormcallers just keep pounding in with, like, it would be 1800 damage per shot with splash damage, that's pretty darn good. We'll see how this goes. These steel balls have been a thorn in the side of Happening, though. I would like to see something that can come out and deal with these steel balls quickly, but the steel balls have 25,000 HP, and that's going to do a lot of damage. It doesn't look like either player is opting for any kind of flank. Probably a wise decision. Out comes the mass burning, and this little area right here is bad for these Fang. Alright, let's see if these melting points can get online. It looks like, oh, this, yeah, I was going to say, it looks like the Rhino is the top thing, and the Fortress. Wow, these melting points are already earning their keep in a big way. The Vulcan are here to clear away all the chaff. Yes. Oh my gosh, this is going to go exceedingly well here for Rat. Unfortunately, all of his little crawlers will die to friendly fire, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I don't think so. I truly don't think so. Man, these melting points are just... Oh, this guy hasn't earned a level yet? That is unfortunate. You'd love to see both these melting points get a level for the next round. Rat is able to do a huge amount of damage to Happening. Happening will have a tiny bit more cash than Rat this turn. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Happening opts to skip. He's only got $50 more. Oh, that's not great. Shields and the Fistobots coming out here for the Fortress. That's a lot of money pumped into these fortresses. Let's see if they're enough. There isn't really anything here to deal with giants, though. Looks like Rat chose to grab the Orbital Bombardment. It's a good spot. Very good spot. And recycling those Phoenix. That way I have a feeling, yeah, the melting points are going to have this extra tech. Interesting that the Amp Core decided to go on the level 1 unit. It's not the worst thing in the world to do, and the reason for that is now this level 1 unit is able to shoot almost as if it's a level 2 unit. And the level 2 unit, of course, is able to still pack a huge wallop. So I do like this choice here by Rat. I do think that happening needs to get, I don't know, maybe a few snipers with the... He doesn't have the electromagnetic shot. Ooh, that's going to be tough. That is going to be real tough. There's a lot of HP now on the field here for Rat, and there isn't really a huge amount of damage that can come out. Unfortunately, I believe both these fortresses are doomed to fail, as there isn't really any extra chaff here. These Fang might be enough to deflect a couple of those shots. And if Rat's Vulcans continue to do the friendly fire that they are, this might go the way of happening, but I'm giving it an 80% chance to go in the way of Rat. I think that Rat's got this game on this round, but we'll see. We shall see. Melting Point does a little bit of a boogie-oogie just to be safe. Lots of bombardments coming down. Down goes the shield almost instantaneously. Oh no. Yeah, these fortresses don't really stand much of a chance. The fists are going out though, and that will be enough to clear away some of these units. Not too bad. There's still 2 fortresses up. I don't think they'll be able to get in range though, and that's really the damning thing here for these fortresses. They're able to claim Vulcan with those punches, but that's it. There just wasn't enough range to kind of get in here, deal with the giants quickly. I do like the level 2 Stormcallers, but this should be a lesson to everyone. If giants become the main form of attack, whoever transitions into melting points has a pretty clear advantage. 2 of my favorite players, Daka versus Luckhard. Man, there's only 2 things in this world that you could never have enough of, and one of those is more Daka. Looks like both players actually have some very good hands here. We have seen a lot of tank play in the most recent tournaments. Granted, the meta has shifted quite a bit, and it looks like Luck is going to go with the Rhino Specialist Steel Ball Crawler. These Rhinos can quickly get out of hand. Previously, we've seen detonating Rhinos taking out towers, Rhinos with the mobile beacon charging down towers, even Rhinos in the back line with a little bit of support can become an absolute nightmare. Luck is one of the best players in the world. Daka is just a fantastic name. I've actually played against this guy a couple of times on the ladder. I think right now we actually stand at a 50-50. He's beat me once, I've beat him once. I will verify that later though. But yeah, both players really well-to-do players. It looks like Daka with the cost control specialist is going to be able to play out a couple of Fang. And these Fang are going to be really crucial, but I feel like they're going to get overwhelmed here pretty quickly without heavy support from these arc lights. Ooh, so this is a very good play here by Daka for several reasons. What can happen with a cost control specialist is, although you have a ton of extra cash, you can be overwhelmed by the amount of levels that the opposite player is able to get. So you're playing out more units that are weaker. And what happens then is that, let's say normally it's a 1-to-1 trade. Well, these crawlers might trade into a group of enemy crawlers, still have a few units survive, and get a couple extra Yes, they'll get overwhelmed, but they've earned 1.5% XP because they've killed an entire unit, maybe a quarter of the other unit. And that means that they're leveling significantly quicker. And in the early game, it's more important to have more units, but around round 3, round 4, levels really start to make a big difference. And this is actually, I like this play because these missiles are extremely well placed, unfortunately, here for Luckhard. I wouldn't be surprised if, oh my god, I was going to say, did the missiles just win the game? No. Very close, though. Actually, this might work a little bit to the disfavor of Daka because he'd like his units to get a little bit more HP or XP, but that's a lot of damage on Luck early. Wow. Really great missile placement there. I bet Luck just threw his hands in the air like, oh, well, I guess I lose. Luckhard goes with the heavy armor. I wouldn't be surprised if both players grab the heavy armor, but Daka is the Rhino, or really? Daka is not the Rhino specialist. He still chose to get the strikes back. These flanks are pretty well protected. I'm surprised. But maybe Daka is like, hey, you know what? You only have 1 sniper. Quick transition into Phoenix would do quite well for him. Instead, opting to unlock more crawlers and more Fang from both players. Okay. We're going to see a Chaff war. Daka has a ton of cash. Grabbing a lot of crawlers here is probably great. Man, Luck also grabbed a whole bunch of crawlers. Interesting. These flanks are very well protected now. Not from flying units, and maybe Daka will unlock Phoenix or Wasps for next turn to just get in here and deal some damage. Honestly, a couple of Wasps on the flanks would do extremely well here for Daka. Luckhard will be able to see that the Strike Specialist is in play, though. Oh my god. Daka's like, you know what? It worked once. It might work again. These Fang will absorb the shot, and we'll actually have a game on our hands, but this is $200 so far that Daka has invested in these missiles. The first one was definitely worth it. I mean, that's a lot of cash, but we shall see if there's enough here to punch through and deal the damage. I just don't think that there's enough single target damage, high damage, single target damage to deal with these steel balls, especially these guys over here with the heavy armor. I think that old Daka might see a loss here, but we'll see. These arc lights with the tank support will be able to clear off huge amounts of chaff. And you know what? Tanks, when they're all shooting at the same steel ball, tend to get rid of steel balls a little bit quicker than most people think. Especially once the tanks have mechanical rage, so that way they're not shooting at like the speed of, 4.5 seconds, is it, on a tank? For their attack interval? Yeah, 4.5 seconds. That's insanely long. And it looks like old Daka had more than enough chaff here to push through, rush down Luck's units, and then clean them up. Luck is in a seriously bad position. My earlier prediction was completely wrong. Owie, wowie, wowie. Luck is almost in the danger zone on round 2. This is insanity. Alright, Luck's really got to bring this back. He grabs the portable shield. It's on the Rhino. Daka might opt for barrier? No, also gets the portable shield. On what? Some steel balls? Okay, this makes sense. He knows that the Rhino's coming out. And yeah, positioning the steel balls to protect these towers is incredibly important. Now, what this portable shield will do is allow these steel balls to survive an extra hit from the Rhino. That is incredibly important because the Rhino right now is hitting for 6,000 damage. I have seen Rhinos just cut through a unit of steel balls without much of an issue, especially if this Rhino, oh, it does have the self-detonation. So this final blitz, extremely good. It's the tower killer and also just kills basically everything around it. This whirlwind is incredibly important as well because it can just demolish a unit of steel balls before the steel balls have range. I do like this Stormcaller play here from Luckhard. A lot of these units are grouped up. They all tend to congregate kind of in these two little areas of this map, so at least the Stormcaller shots have a higher chance of landing and dealing some significant damage. Oh no, the Rhino moves here for Luckhard. He didn't realize it, but this Rhino placement was much better than this one, just because these steel balls have shields. Those shields are going to be really important, and honestly, this Rhino's going in a little unsupported. I would like it if there was a unit of crawlers going ahead of it. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. The Fang will survive a little while longer. Yeah, get that Rhino out of here. Let him come in while he's supported. Yeah, supported by these crawlers. I think that's much better. Okay, we have a bit more of a game on our hands now. These Stormcaller shots go out early. They're able to just decimate these units of Fang. That's incredibly important, as now the crawlers won't be focusing on the Fang as much. Ooh, and some really good Stormcaller shots, able to take out a huge amount of steel balls. The steel balls are already working down the Rhino. One steel ball drops. Will the others? No. Rhino is down, and that's going to be a huge amount of XP. The Stormcallers are doing a good amount of damage, but you know what? They're just a little too late. As they continue to grow and level, as this game becomes more of a fight on these 2 points, I think the Stormcallers will become just better and better. But until that point, they're a little bit too unsupported right now. Oh, Luck has stopped the bleeding a little bit. He was hemorrhaging. Now he's just taking some cuts across the chest. Let's see if he's able to stitch himself up. Wow, very quick pickup there by Daka. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but he picked it so quick it was able to pop up before we even see these cards. Luck, honestly, the parasitic ammo might do extremely well here for Luck, just because if he puts it on one of these Stormcallers, he's going to be able to convert a lot of these units. Yeah, Luck does think so as well. We'll see what he does. Luck is continuously recycling his units that aren't performing very well. I think that's a wise decision. And out comes the Mama ship. Okay. Yeah, double Mama ship. Burn the Midnight Oil. He's finally put the heavy armor in a spot that's a little bit better. I do like that he's kept this Rhino out. And this is going to go incredibly well. There's 2 units of Fang. Both Fang are the first thing to be targeted down by the Stormcallers. These Overlords are going to guarantee Luck's victory. Daka has already used all of his cash. I do like the upgraded Arc Lights. I think too many players don't upgrade their Arc Lights. Arc Lights actually have quite a bit of HP. They shoot pretty darn quick. They have good splash damage. Arc Lights are just a solid unit. The problem that a lot of players have with them is that they're a single entity unit. A group of tanks generally outperform a single Arc Light. But if you didn't know also, that doesn't matter. So if the missile hits ground, your flying units are not affected. Just a little bit of useful stuff. Man, this Overlord's doing extremely well, just continually stopping damage from coming out. It needs to get a shot into these steel balls. It does not, and down goes the Rhino. That's unfortunate. But the Overlord's going to delay this flank by a huge amount. There's no longer anything else that shoots up. Now all Luck is playing for is how many units can I kill in order to save my guys in the back line, deal as much damage back as possible. And it looks like he's going to deal a significant amount. Probably close to 1,000? 400? Yeah, no, he's going to do over 1,000 damage. Well done here by Luck. Pulling himself back into the game by making a very important unit transition. Very, very well done. Orbital Bombardment comes out here for Daka. Luck takes a couple of seconds to think. Orbital Bombardment as well. Oh no. I misspoke. Daka grabbed the Javelin. That's a much better pickup for him, as it will cripple 2 units, and importantly, get rid of these Overlords that are just dealing a ton of damage. One of the things I like to have is my... Oh, good recycle here by Luck. I do like to actually let my Overlords move around. Because they're such a key unit, things like the Javelin comes out. So I like to just kind of push my Overlords around a little bit. Double Overlord and a unit of Crawlers here for Luck. The only real answer that Daka has gotten is an Overlord of his own. That will not be enough anti-air to deal with 3 other Overlords in most cases. Luck also chose to recycle his... Oh no. Luck choosing to recycle his Rhino is very good. Yes, okay. The Overlord here gets spaced out just enough to avoid that Javelin. So now he'll have a shield. Having a shield on your Overlord's great. It's an extra HP bar, and it blocks 1 instance of extremely dangerous damage. In this case, it would not block the Javelin. The Javelin goes right through shields. Unfortunate, but I think there's enough Overlords here. 3 Overlords will live. This guy, unfortunately, does get tagged out, but I don't think it will be too bad. Overlords are pushing through in a big way. This orbital bombardment clears away all the chaff, so now these Overlords don't need to worry as much. This guy might go down to anti-Overlord fire. There goes the shield. Overlords do kill each other normally in a single volley, but he's able to survive 2 volleys. That's really important. All right, let's see if there's enough. There's a lot of chaff here, and these Overlords are going to be engaging on Daka's Overlords in a really important way. Yeah, down it goes. And that's that. Another minimum 800 damage coming out here for Luck. This just shows you the caliber of these players. Even though Luck was really not doing well for the first couple of rounds, he's pulled it back in a big way. He's not going to be able to win with this, but you know, it's a lot. It takes out the missile turret as well, and now Daka's in a rough spot. Oof. Luck is still behind by 1,000 HP, but he can win this with this coming round. Charged ammo coming out for Daka. Luck might choose... Oh man, that Vulcan would be pretty good though. Let's see what Luck does here. I do like that Daka is trying to answer the Overlords with Overlords of his own. Unfortunately, those Overlords aren't going to be leveled, nor do they have any equipment. We'll see. Luck has finally made his choice. It looks like it's the shield drop. Well done. That should protect these units for a little while longer. Charged ammo coming out, and the Wasps for these Overlords is going to be incredibly important. I want to see if Luck... Yeah, I was going to say, I want to see if Luck positions some of these Overlords in the far back just to allow more Wasps to spawn. Having different waves of units come in at different points of time is incredibly important in this here game of Mechabellum, as it just allows maybe an extra 1 or 2 spawns of Wasps. And those extra Wasps do add up. They really, really do. I like that Luck has also kept his flanks protected this whole time while recycling units that he really doesn't need. extra Fang, extra Crawlers, those types of things that just aren't really performing. Might as well get rid of them. Double shields here from Luck as well. Just a little bit of protection here for the Stormcallers. I don't really think they needed it. These two missiles should cancel each other out. No, actually, there's more than enough missile turrets. And you know what's actually great here about the Missile Interceptor is that it deals with the Overlords quite well. Just because Overlord shots do count as missiles, and that will seriously cripple a lot of the DPS here. Not fully, though. And these Overlord shots are now landing and spawning more units. It's 3 Overlords shooting out. Oh, there goes the steel balls. This is too many Overlords. And these Overlords spawning Wasps are causing the enemy Overlords to shoot at the Wasps. That's going to be GG. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be very close. Especially with all the extra Wasps. Let's see if Luckhard does kill him. Oh, it does. By a significant portion. Well done, Luckhard. That's a game to learn from. Never quit, never stop, and also pay attention to the field. Luck made a huge transition there. It really paid off. Well done to both players. See you in the next round. If you've been enjoying this content, please be sure to like and subscribe. We move into the God Emperor of MB versus Kapui. Man, we've got some great Warhammer references this tournament. I do love it. God Emperor goes with Fang Sledgehammer with the Speed Specialist. Okay, so one of the main drawbacks of both these units are their lack of speed, but actually being a little bit quicker will help them close that gap. And let's take a look at what Kapui is. Kapui actually ended up group number 11, advanced group second runner-up. Fantastic, good for Kapui. Rhino spec. Okay, we've seen some Rhino specs throughout this tournament. I do think it's one of the better units. However, it does come at the cost of a lot of HP. Looks like God Emperor is going to stick to his guns, grab another unit of tanks. I do like this. Tanks are becoming more and more relevant within the meta, and they will perform extremely well against these units. Unfortunately, the Fang will not, but the Fang are kind of here, at least early game, to absorb sniper shots. And these units do work very well with each other. I kind of like this bricked formation. Everybody's going to be supporting each other. Unfortunately, these tanks are the outliers, and more often than not, people tend to place their snipers next to the tower. Just because it gives the snipers a lot of range. They can also shoot units that are coming into the back line, so I do like this placement here. Very standard deployment by Kapui. Kind of a non-standard deployment from the God Emperor, but we will see. We'll see how that works out. And of course, now our command centers can upgrade, and so can the research center. I'm not sure I've ever seen a player do this, but hey, it's an option. So hopefully that's something that players will do more often now. I'm not sure, but it could be a thing. Looks like there's going to be a lot more support here on the right. These tanks should be able to get rid of a lot of the damage. Unfortunately, these Fang are a little bit on the out, and that's going to hurt them. But as long as these tanks are the ones absorbing those shots from the Mustang, they'll be in a good way. Huge win on the right here for old God Emperor. Kapui's going to be really in a bad spot here as these units re-engage. There's absolutely no way that he'll be able to win this. There just aren't enough Mustang to clear away these Fang. And these tanks, man, I love these little guys. These tanks are kind of like escorting their kids to school. Come on, kids, follow the tanks. Well done. Oh, and choosing to ignore this Mustang. This is actually a good thing for Kapui's units, or for God Emperor even, just because killing those towers do give a little bit of experience points. So you actually want your units to go around and kill stragglers and the towers before finishing off the opponent. Ooh, supply specialist. Yeah, that's very early in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if both players pick this up. Kapui might be thinking about that Haste module, or even the Wasps. There are a significant number of Fang on the field, but Wasps are still pretty good. Oh, Kapui does grab the Haste module. Okay. So now God Emperor just needs to kind of let this game play out for a long period of time. The longer the game goes, the more likely God Emperor is to win. Wow, that's interesting. That is really interesting. We'll see if this makes a difference. Now, God Emperor could make that play because he won the last round. He felt confident. I think that was a wise decision on his part. Luckily, the supply specialist pays itself back really quickly, grabbing an extra unit of Fang. Fang in the background. These guys are probably here to defend against the Wasps that he's a little bit afraid of possibly coming out. Kapui looks like grabbed at least one unit of arc light. And potentially some more crawlers, or maybe even a Mustang wouldn't have gone astray here. There's nothing. Oh, there they are. I was going to say, there's the crawlers. There is a unit of crawlers in the back line. It looks like this arc light will be pulled off to clear it. Well done. Good placement there on that arc light. So if you want to stop tank aggression, shields are a really good way to do it. Tanks, although they hit kind of hard, don't hit extremely hard. Their rate of fire is pretty darn slow until they get the mechanical rage upgrade. So these shields will be able to absorb a huge amount of damage. Down go the crawlers. This arc light will be there to clear them away, but it looks like the engagement is going to happen inside the shield for the most part. Oh no, these tanks might actually move and engage the Mustang. Looks like they will as the last of those crawlers go down. That is unfortunate. Crawlers did nothing in the back line. We see more tanks and arc lights moving up. This sniper is dead. It all comes down to how quickly this tower drops and what units are left. There isn't going to be a huge amount left here for the God Emperor. Kapui Sniper is sitting in a really safe spot, and it takes a long time for these towers to be destroyed. You know, we might actually see the first tower upgrades I've ever seen in Mechabellum. I've played a lot of 2v2s recently with my good friend Calavora. I've played on the ladder quite a bit recently, and I've never seen the command center receive a increase. But it just might happen. If the shield does drop, it would almost be worthwhile here for the God Emperor. And it looks like the shield will drop. I don't think he's going to win this, but that's pretty nice. It's $100 lost. These tanks may be able to push through and deal with the sniper. There's 3 of them. They need 2 shots to kill the sniper. Oh, they might do it. There's 1, there's 2. Oh, 1 more shot. 1 more shot. Oh, he does not get it. Well done, sniper. That little hero sniper earned itself a level, and that's very important, because now the sniper will start one-shotting these tanks, if the tanks don't receive an upgrade themselves. But for the God Emperor, it was a very, very good time and place for that to happen. Only losing by a little bit after picking up the supply specialist is great. Kapui goes with the heavy hacker. Hackers are great against tanks. He has them. Will he play out too? Opts to recycle the unit that had the haste module as well. If that was placed on a unit. I didn't see it. No, instead recycling his Rhino. I don't see the Rhino placed anywhere. I think Kapui just needed that cash, and he went for the quick recycle on the Rhino. It's not a bad choice. It's a huge increase in cash. Also, a great new thing that happens with the field recovery is that when you hover over a unit, you can see exactly how much that is going to cost, or how much money is going to be refunded. Tanks get a full upgrade. They'll be able to plunk away at the shield considerably quicker now. Shields do not scale. Deployables do not scale throughout the game. So the longer the game goes on, the weaker most deployables become. Besides really the missile interceptor. The missile interceptor will just keep plunking away intercepting missiles. So it's pretty good. It'll just continue to be pretty good. I'd like to see these tanks start to get an upgrade. Normally once you have 4 or 5 sets of a unit, it is worth upgrading them just because the cost does drop drastically per unit for the upgrade. So 300 across 4 units is a lot better than 300 across 1 unit. A good amount of Fang coming out as well. You know, these Fang can eventually become quite deadly. You can really catch your opponent out by suddenly having, 6 units of Fang that all of a sudden all have range and attack increases. Oh, here it comes. The hackers. The hackers are really going to turn this in the favor of Kapui. Man, I love a good hacker game. I absolutely love a good hacker game. And all these tanks are getting distracted. They're shooting at each other. Oh no, it's all falling apart here for the God Emperor. In fact, there's more tanks now for Kapui than there are tanks for the God Emperor. This is just, oh my god. This is just horrible here for the God Emperor. He's going to take a huge amount of damage. Really well played here by Kapui. God, you gotta love a good hacker game. I think I know what my thumbnail's gonna be. Hackers, hackers, and more hackers. Well done, everybody. Well done indeed. Oh my god, these hackers are gonna actually allow more damage to come out on the God Emperor. That is just phenomenal. Really well played there by Kapui. Kapui's able to even it up in a big way. Deployment spec for the God Emperor. A good choice as he's already earning that extra 50. Being able to deploy a couple extra units is definitely going to be worthwhile. Hackers now have shields. Man, and these tanks are just not going to deal with the shields very well. What's the great answer to hackers? Stormcallers. Stormcallers get through shields very quickly. They're able to smash down the hackers pretty quickly as well. These hackers have a lot of HP, though. So what happens is that the Stormcallers normally lock on the first unit, and they do have good splash damage. So they should be able to kind of deal some damage to the hackers. I don't know. These hackers are already level 2. I would have liked to see these Stormcallers come out at level 2, but money has become a bit of an issue here for the God Emperor. Yes, he's earning a little bit more than Kapui, but this is going to be dangerous. It's going to be very dangerous. And there's another hacker here on the left. Not super important, but it should be able to convert these tanks over. That way, old Kapui doesn't keep losing that flank. Crawlers have disappeared. That's probably a wise decision from Kapui as well, just because it was feeding XP to the sledgehammers. And the worst thing that can happen is that the tanks continue to level. Once the tanks become level 3, level 4, they suddenly become much more deadly. Stormcaller shots are going in. They're dealing significant damage to the shields, but it's not really enough, not quick enough even, to actually get in there and start converting. And you know what's happening? These sledgehammers are just a little bit too close or a little bit too far away, so the Stormcallers can actually aggro on friendly enemy tanks that have been converted by the hackers. That means that these Stormcallers aren't shooting at the hackers. So slowly but surely, the Stormcallers keep re-engaging on these tanks instead of killing the unit that's converting the tanks. And that's just not enough damage. Man, really well played. This can feel like, how do I defeat this at this point? The God Emperor can quickly become discouraged, but if the God Emperor of Mankind is a character that is going to be channeled, there is a chance that he can make a comeback here. There needs to be mass Stormcaller, and I think this Ion Blast can really keep the God Emperor in the play here. Unfortunately, the Ion Blast is going to do very well for both players, but specifically, it's going to harm the God Emperor a lot. His units are in a very straight line, and although the Ion Blast takes a long time to come down and deal the damage, there's already shields out for Kapui, and these shields are going to last for a while. Now the Missile Interceptor is here as well. It should be able to plink away. Probably not destroy all of the missiles, but really plink away at them. We need to see a mass battery of Stormcallers here, and I don't think the God Emperor has the cash to do so. Either mass battery of Stormcallers or these tanks really need to be level 3 with some upgrades. So unfortunately, the Emperor has to both defend these units. Oh no, that's not going to do it. The fire is good. Don't get me wrong, fire is good, but the problem is that he's not eating through these shields quick enough. And this Ion Blast could quickly decimate the God Emperor's units. Mass shielding, man, these hackers with shields are so great. They're the cheapest way to get shields that respawn in the game over a length of time. Yes, fortresses have shields. Yes, those fortress shields are better, at least in my opinion, because they're sized a little bit larger. But hackers are just less expensive than fortresses, and they tend to fill the role a little bit better. If hackers are working well for you, they tend to work much better than fortresses over a period of time, just because fortresses can be hard countered a little bit easier than hackers. Out comes the laser. The laser does have an extremely long time now. It is going to have that little bit of splash, and the Stormcallers do move up anyways. Stormcallers aren't going to do really much. That fire does help, though. It does clear away quite a few of these Mustang, and one hacker will drop to the Ion. Will this be enough? I don't think so. Without the support of the Stormcallers on the right, these tanks are going to spend most of their time killing friendly tanks. And this super tanky hacker here, the level 3 hacker, is not really going to worry about this too much. This won't kill the God Emperor, which I was thinking that this might be the death blow, but it won't kill him. Maybe it will give him enough time to continue to build out these Stormcallers. As more and more Stormcallers hit the field, they will eventually turn the tables. Of course, that can be countered here by Kapui with simply a couple units of Mustang and the Missile Interceptor, or spending a ton of cash on the Missile Interception. God Emperor quickly takes the Shield Device Specialist. Interesting choice. Kapui's going to think about it a little bit. I did see quite a few upgrades come out for the God Emperor as well. A wise decision. As these units continue to upgrade, they'll perform better. He really just needs a lot of Stormcallers, though, just to keep hammering away at these shields. Remember, as the shields, or as this unit levels up, the shield also increases in HP. So it's just going to take longer and longer for these level 2 Stormcallers to plunk through them. Luckily, the Stormcallers will be firing significantly faster. That will help a huge amount. Here comes the next battery of Stormcallers. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There are... Oh no, the Mustang can't even intercept the missiles. They don't have the ability to. Alright, we'll see if this is enough. It's going to be Hacker and Mustang versus Mass Stormcaller Tank. Oh, it's going to be tough. The God Emperor's in a really rough spot. I do think that this was a wise decision, upgrading the range, just because the range has been shortened on the Stormcallers because of this upgrade. But we'll see how it goes. Missile goes out. Missile is blocked. Here come just mass Stormcaller shots. There's no longer a missile interceptor on the field, but look how little damage they did to those shields. It takes 2 volleys. I think it's enough, though. I do think that there is enough Stormcallers here to kind of deal with this. They're already starting to just destroy the hackers. The hackers aren't even through the shields yet. That shield device specialist was very important, and there is a lot of tanks left over. These tanks have not been converted. They're able to start plummeting down on these hackers. Let's see if enough units survive the fire. Yes, it does. Wow, big comeback here for the God Emperor. He was on his last legs, but notice he also didn't burn the Midnight Oil. He did not go for the rapid resupply, so he will be neck and neck here with Kapui, but he has a small economic advantage over the last couple of terms because of that supply specialist. Kapui is now also in the danger zone. Both players opt for the photon emission. Stormcallers are getting mass upgrades, melting points to try and deal with these tanks, but not only that, they'll absorb a lot of damage. Okay, and it looks like we're going to see a transition here to these Fang. The Fang get a small upgrade. It just allows them to deal that damage a little bit sooner. And honestly, having the Fang deal damage a little bit sooner is very important. The Mustang don't have range. So now the Fang actually outrange the Mustang by a significant amount. By a huge amount because of that extra 15 range as well. That is very, very important. Will the God Emperor grab a couple more shields? I think that would be a wise decision. Kapui eats a few units. He does have a little bit of money left over. Luckily, Kapui doesn't really have to spend on shields anymore because he has enough hackers out here with shields, and these level 3 shields are actually better than any deployable shield he could have anyways. Ooh, a Rhino. A Rhino right into the back line. Oh no. We'll see if the Stormcallers are able to put it down, but I don't think they will be able to. I really don't think they'll be able to. This might be the killing blow here by Kapui. A very good decision to actually play this Rhino right there. Oh no, there's absolutely nothing here to block this, and the God Emperor kind of left this flank open for a little bit too long. Let's take a look. Oh my gosh, this Rhino's just going to get in there and kill the tower immediately. The distraction play does not work. Oh no, oh no. The Rhino's going to go in. Down goes the tower here in 2 seconds. Is there going to be enough Stormcaller fire to kind of protect this? I don't think so. Oh, this is going to be a devastating loss for the God Emperor. Really good eyes here by Kapui. Just spotting, hey, you know what? I can win this game, and I'm going to win this game. I'm going to play a Rhino. I'm going to move it in, destroy the tower. There's nothing to block it. Extremely well done. Wow, this guy's got some range on him, huh? Just able to plink away. Well played by both players. I liked that the God Emperor had a small chance there. Nearly brought it back, but not quite. GG. We'll see you guys in the next round. Congratulations to both players. On to the next round. We have HD versus Ruby. Oh my. I have seen Ruby played quite a bit recently. In fact, I believe Ruby placed in one of the most recent tournaments. I think they might go with the aerial specialist. If memory serves, they did actually like the aerial specialist. Granted, Stormcallers have become weaker, and unfortunately, Ruby is facing a point in time where there's three of their cards have Stormcallers. That's going to be rough. Wow, this is a very powerful Rhino specialist. Tanks plus marksman. Wow, I think we're going to see a mirror, though. Rhino specialist versus the marksman. So let's talk a little bit about this marksman. Extremely powerful, but it does come with some real drawbacks. The marksman should be able to one-shot anything that comes on the field at this point in time in the game, dealing 6,744 damage. Unless there's like an extremely early giant, say round 2, the marksman should perform extremely well. But what this means is that the marksman is going to be killing a lot of the units that you prefer your Stormcallers, your Arclights, any other of these units actually get the killing blow on. That way they earn XP. Not only that, this marksman is worth a huge amount of XP to any units that kill it, basically leveling anything on the enemy's team if they kill it. So there is a significant drawback to having this level 3 marksman. It's not only just an extremely good killing machine, it is a double-edged sword. So you have to be thinking about that when you play the elite marksman. But in this case, I think the elite marksman will work very well for old HD or Ruby even, just because there is a significant lack of entities on the enemy team's field. Ruby does opt to grab some crawlers of his own. I think that's a wise decision. There just needs to be some chaff on the field for both players as this game starts. We'll see if the tanks are enough to deal with the amount of chaff on the field here, though. I have to give it to the Arclight and Stormcallers, at least initially. They should be able to clear away these crawlers a little bit quicker. But there isn't a huge amount of support for these Arclights. Oh no, little Arclight in the center is going to drop very quickly. On the flanks, the Arclights are able to clear away the crawlers very quickly, though. And it looks like it will be enough. We'll have to see how these Stormcaller shots land, but the longer the game goes on, the more likely it is for this sniper to get online and kill off all these tanks. Man, really good Stormcaller shots there. Actually did clear away most of the tanks. Now it's going to be Sniper Wars, and this sniper can take a shot. Let's see how it goes, but it did go the way of our red player. Good job, Ruby. And that's the importance of having good wave clear. Those tanks honestly are a little unsupported here. I'd like to see something else in the center. Deployment spec early is extremely powerful. I'd be surprised if the players don't pick this up. I do like the subsidized crawler, but it's just not nearly as powerful as the deployment specialist. Ruby does believe so as well, grabs the deployment specialist. They should be able to start powering ahead in the Chaff Wars if that's their choice. No, grabbing 2 snipers and maybe another unit. They have the cash. HD is still thinking about it. Wow, there's your 4 snipers. I wouldn't advise many players go beyond 4 snipers. I think 4 snipers is generally enough to take care of basically anything. 4 well-upgraded and well-teched snipers can deal with giants. They can deal with things like tanks very well. Maybe 5 if there's also air units, but previously in other tournaments we've seen players with 5, 10 snipers between that range, and that seems to have kind of dropped away a little bit. Eventually, if you do have, you know, the full upgrade on your snipers, it's probably worthwhile to grab a few more snipers, but we'll see how this engagement goes. More tanks and more crawlers did... Yes, okay, HD also grabbed the deployment spec. Very much worthwhile. It will help quite a bit here, and these extra snipers will do a great job at just clearing away some of these tanks early. They're in the back line already killing tanks. Very important, and now they're moving forward. Not only that, these Stormcallers are a great answer to both tanks and snipers. Interestingly enough, these tanks seem to just... Either the Stormcallers have a bit more accuracy in this tournament than I'm used to, but they seem to be able to hit tanks even while those tanks are moving. Previously, Stormcallers would miss something moving at 1 meter per second. But no, it seems like this is going quite well. HD does hit his power spike, though. Ooh, and the photon coating on that Rhino could be really mean. Like, just turning that Rhino into something that takes a long time to die. We'll see what he opts for. Snipers could also get a level here for HD. Yes, he does grab the photon coating. Let's see where he places it. It might not be worth putting on the Rhino. Actually, I would think so. The Rhino is going to try and be countered here by some level 1 hackers. Those hackers are going to have enough support in the back line. Ruby can play a 3rd unit. What is it? Another unit of crawlers. Wise to... Oh, no. Yeah, it is a unit of crawlers. This Arclight's been there for a while. Interesting. So HD does have the mobile beacon and 2 Rhinos, but instead of forcing the Rhinos into the tower, he's choosing to have his crawlers dance. Now that should pull away some of the Stormcaller shots, but this Arclight is going to be in range of those crawlers very quickly and should be able to just absolutely decimate them. We shall see. I do like this Rhino support on the flank here by HD. If it kills this Arclight off, all of a sudden the wave clear drops massively for Ruby. Pretty much all of the wave clear is being tied into these arc lights. Yes, Stormcallers can clear crawlers, but they're unlikely to do so unless the crawlers are tied down by a separate unit. Ooh, Ruby. Ruby grabbed the Wasps. Oh, there they are. And these Wasps will kill the tower very quickly. So it's most likely going to go to Ruby. A very good play here. Oh no, the hacker would probably get converted, or the Rhino will probably be converted by the hacker as well, due to the slowdown. It's going to be tough though. He's going to get it. He's definitely going to get it. And in come the Wasps. That's why the Wasp play is extremely important. Yes, the Wasps have a very long cooldown. Oh my god. That's the power of the hacker, just converting a little crawler there. Oh my god. No, the Rhino does not get it. Well played here by Ruby. Really well played. Being just a force of dominance. Actually, where did they place last time? Advanced group number 4. Good for them. Good for them indeed. Great killing here. A lot of damage coming out on HD. Where did HD place last time? Advanced group 1, number 4. All right. Well, we will see if these two players can continue, but Ruby is extremely dominant right now. HD opts for the orbital bombardment. Ruby has a lot of choices here. Ruby's so far ahead, they can even choose to play it a little slow. They don't necessarily need to get the damage, but they opt to try and close out the game. I would be very tempted to burn the Midnight Oil here and just go for the kill. You know, grab the Midnight Oil, grab the range, grab the speed, just so that your units are longer range, they're faster, they're hitting harder. Like, it just... I might go with all of the tech and all of the command center upgrades just to try and make one big push in a round. It's still very early, though. Round 4 would be a very quick kill. But it can happen. These Rhinos really need the detonation here. They need the detonation, and they need to just go straight for the tower. There isn't really a lot of things that would stop them. This missile will, though. Does the photon coating... no, it does not make them immune to slow. It's interesting that it makes you immune to most everything else but slow. That's what the power armor is for. Oh well. HD's scared, and I don't blame them. They are taking a huge amount of damage in a very short period of time, grabbing the speed and the rapid resupply. They did not grab a specialist. Oh, yeah, of course they did. They grabbed the orbital bombardment. Range on the snipers. A wise decision. And both upgrades. Let's see if it's enough. I don't think so. I think the mass hacker with shield will once again be more than enough to deal with this. The slow hurts, but honestly it's not so bad because it just means that the Rhinos will be moving in with a little bit of support. Or with their support destroyed, at least they won't be moving in as quickly. Hacker goes down on the right. Will it be enough? Oh, this Rhino's going to give it the business. These Rhinos should be able to move in and claim the tower. Out goes the last explosive. I think it's not going to be enough. Wow. This might be a comeback here for HD. The Rhinos have a lot of work to do, but there isn't really much that will kill them. If the sniper and hacker goes down, the Rhino should reign supreme here. Yep. Go Rhino play. Well done, and we have a bit more of a game here. Let's see if this can turn around for HD. Ruby is not going to be in a bad spot, though. He took a huge hit there, but honestly, the orbital bombardment wasn't that great for Ruby. It was very good for HD, though. Haste module could be good for HD and for Ruby. I do love the shields, but the question for HD is, hey, am I going to be in this game for the next 2-3 rounds? I don't know. If he loses one, he's dead, and that's a really rough place to be. Looks like Ruby goes with the subsidized crawlers, just because he had 2 crawlers to upgrade. Not a bad choice. Upgrades on the hackers, just so that they can deal with these Rhinos a little bit more, and it looks like there might be some Fang play as well. This is just to delay the Rhinos, and unfortunately, they'll do extremely well at killing off Wasps as well. That's going to hurt. That's really going to hurt. But I do like this transition here from HD. Just having a good brick of Wasps. Where are they going? That's what I thought. Right on the flank. And the Fang are not going to counter them. Okay. That's a lot of Wasps. They can they move? They can't move. So this is... Oh, they can move. Okay, good enough. Tokyo drifting Wasps. That's going to make a big difference. And next turn, he can move those Wasps out, just because most likely, if this round continues, if the game continues, Ruby would just slap a couple of Mustang, either with the splash damage upgrade or the anti-air. Would do extremely well there. Photon coating coming out for HD as well. Probably worthwhile. I don't think it will make that big of a difference, as most of these units are going up against things that would one-shot them, probably even with the 50% reduction in damage. I mean, it will slow down the hackers a little bit. Here come the Tokyo Drifting Wasps. There's nothing really to stop them besides this marksman. Question is, can they get in there fast enough? I believe so. I really do believe so. Rhino is slowly going to be converted, and unfortunately it has to go through a ton of these Fang. Let's see if he can get the tower in time. That looks pretty good. One Rhino at least won't be converted. Able to kill a hacker. Off go the these little Wasps. They're doing a great job. Clearing away snipers, clearing away Stormcallers. Very important. Man, the Wasps are going to win it here. As this last sniper falls, there's what? A couple of groups of Fang left that can shoot up. I don't think there'll be enough Fang. Down goes the tower. This Rhino is very powerful, doing a great job. Yeah, this is another win for HD. Well played indeed. He's making some really important decisions here in order to stay in the game. They're brutal knife fights in the streets, and I love it. He's realized that he's got to win through his intuition rather than trying to break the front. Let's see what both players pick up here. Oh, man. Amp Core, it's probably the best out of all of these. The Assault Fortress definitely isn't worth it. Yeah, both players go with the Amp Core. A pretty standard decision. HD's gonna try and, I think, win at the front now by grabbing a whole bunch of Stormcallers. 3 units of Stormcallers. He still has enough cash to move out these Wasps. Ruby is forced to take Mustang, and you know what's actually a very good counter to Mustangs? Stormcallers. So not a bad decision here. Wow, 4 units of Mustang. They're just going to absolutely obliterate these Wasps. The Wasps really need to move. They've been found out, and unfortunately that's kind of a one-trick pony, as now there's more than enough Mustang to deal with them, and there's a ton of Fang on the field. He needs to spend the cash both to move these Wasps and also, potentially, deal with the Mustang. You know, honestly, the fire upgrade on these Stormcallers wouldn't go amiss. He doesn't have enough cash, HD that is, but in the future, that could work out quite well. Lots of missiles here for Ruby. He needs to slow down these Rhinos. A wise decision. HD still has $100. Now he has 300, burning the Midnight Oil. Could grab a range increase just to help these Stormcallers get online on the shields a little bit early. Oh, instead opting to play out a 4th unit of Stormcallers. I think this is a wise decision. Just needs to cripple these shields, needs to cripple the units underneath them. That way the Rhinos can keep dealing the damage that they need to do. The shield is already at a quarter. That's quite nice. Ooh. Here's the first missile. Now this Rhino has been converted pretty much every turn since, and another Rhino is converted. This is really bad for the Stormcaller play, just because it means that the Stormcallers are going to start shooting at the Rhinos instead. He needs to kill this Rhino very quickly. He does. The Stormcallers should reset. They do, but is it too little too late? Oh, this isn't looking good here for HD. Ruby might be able to push through without the cheese play. HD had earned himself an extra 2 rounds in this tournament, but I think it's just too little too late. The snipers are killing each other, and they're killing the towers. Oh no, that's it for HD. Really good scrappy play here to keep himself in the tournament a little bit longer, provide us with some really good plays, but it just is too little too late. The hackers are able to push through. Snipers are able to get in there and deal the damage. GG. Well played by Ruby. Well played by HD. I think they're both incredibly good players. We will see you in the next round. Alrighty, everybody. This is our pseudo semifinals. There may be 2 games after this. There may only be 1. The reason I say that is there's currently 3 matches being played where all 6 players have not lost a game. A opts for the Marksman Specialist with Fang Sledgehammer. That's a mean starting hand. This is going to be very difficult for our blue player to beat. However, they do come into this with quite a good hand against it. These Stormcallers are going to make a huge difference. Stormcallers work extremely well against any land-based units that is slow. And unfortunately for A, all of his units are creepy crawlies. They're going to take a long time to get across the field. And I think that our blue player has made a very wise decision here by opting to grab a couple of Fang and keep them very well protected, both by the Stormcallers and by the Arclights. What I mean by that is that all of these units are supporting each other with their range of fire. The Fang will be here to absorb tank shots, they'll be here to absorb sniper shots, and allow the Arclights and Stormcallers to deal the damage that they need to do. All the armor-piercing damage right now, all of the high... There is no armor in this game yet, but all of the high damage is coming out of these Stormcallers, so they need to be protected. Not only that, they have the longest reach out of anything on the field here, and I think A has realized that. That's why they've opted to grab a couple of Crawlers. These Crawlers are going to be incredibly important if they do come out. No. Crawlers were unlocked, but only one unit comes out, and an extra sniper. Interesting choice. This sniper might be here to try and plink away at Arclights, but these Arclights are pretty well defended by their Fang brothers. Oh my gosh, this one little Stormcaller is going to be able to chew through all of these Fang. Not that the Fang were going to do much anyways, but those poor guys. So if there's mass Stormcallers, I prefer not to play my Fang in this kind of line formation, just because the Stormcaller shots tend to land and just kill off all of them in 1 or 2 volleys. As we saw there, these tanks are unfortunately grouped up. Oh man, those Stormcaller shots are important. But 2 Crawlers do survive on this left-hand side, so these Stormcallers are doomed to death. Even without the support of the tanks and snipers. Let's see if they can get enough shots off. I don't think so. Very well played here by our red player A. A did a significant job. How did A do? Mini tournament advanced runner-up. Good job. Good job indeed. Let's see what both players opt for here. Ooh, man, that shield drop coming out so early is great. Means you'll probably get 2 or 3 uses out of it, and that shield is actually slightly better than the other shields that you see within the game. Normally your shields only give you 40,000 HP. This one just slightly better, and it's free after you purchase it the first time. It's a cheaper shield that comes out more often, or comes out often for free, and has more HP. I really like this card. Both players taking a moment to think about it. Honestly, the extended range on Phoenix could be good for either player as well if we do see an aerial transition. Want to see what was deployed there. A did grab a couple more snipers. Okay. Not a bad choice. Looks like both players opted for the shield. I think both players think the game will go on for quite a while. Shield drop here on the right. Again, we have seen this in the previous battles of the tournament. The tanks and Fang take a long time to get through shields. Luckily, there's a couple of snipers here, and that's why we see the shield being deployed on this side, because this level 3 sniper will plink away at those shields quite quickly, given the amount of damage it does. So the extra 50,000 HP shield will go on the right, because there isn't really a lot of snipers to deal with that. I think our blue player has made a wise decision as well, playing out a few more Crawlers just to help try and win this Chaff war. The more Stormcaller shots that are able to come out, the better. So right now, the Stormcallers are the highest damaging, longest ranged units on the field, besides the Sniper. The Sniper doesn't have quite as much range, but it deals significantly more damage. We'll see how this goes. I don't know, though. The shield is already up. Of course, it gets deployed out there very quickly. These tanks are in a really bad position on the left. They're all kind of squatting together. Tanks on the right are also squatting together, and now some of the Crawlers are getting in. Oh no. That's not what you want your snipers to be shooting at. Down goes one sniper. The second sniper on the right will drop here in a second. Oh, and the left is also being crippled. That extra chaff really making a difference. Well played here by our blue player, understanding that there's just going to be too many snipers to go into heavy or medium-sized units. So hey, grab some more chaff. A takes a small amount of damage. Strangely enough, the shield didn't take a single point of damage. It will survive. Your deployables last throughout the entirety of the game if they're not destroyed or activated in the case of the missile. Intelligent Arclights coming out here for A. Interesting. Okay, we could see some serious Arclight play. He's going to try and deploy as many units as possible. What did... Oh, Intelligent Arclights for both players. Okay. That's not a bad play at all. And interestingly, A held on to their shield just to see where the shield would be most useful. Granted, these Stormcallers will chew through the shields, not extremely quickly, but they will chew through shields quite a bit more quickly than anything that A currently has on the field. Intelligent Arclights with range. This should help our blue player just clear away all of the chaff in a much quicker way. Let's see if our red player can deal with that. It doesn't look like it. I have to give this over to the blue player once again as my prediction. Of course, we don't make predictions on the games because I don't want to discourage anybody. But I think this will go very well here, and I like this attack damage increase as well. It just means that the units will be slightly better. Man, those Fang positions were incredibly good. Able to protect the Stormcallers without any splash damage going off. The Arclights are already working down on the Chaff units. Wow, go little Arclights go. Man, are they clearing things away quickly. Even able to kill enemy Arclights. Wow, wow, wow. Unfortunately, the left, without the support of those Fang, is going to fall very quickly. But there are enough crawlers to get in here and start dealing with this level 3 sniper. Wow, will the Arclight save the Stormcaller? It saved one. Good job, little Arclight. Man, this range is making a huge difference. And you know what's important? The elite marksman and the extra damage can quickly turn these Arclights into the centerpiece of your army. A takes a little bit more damage, being at roughly half the HP of our blue player. This is not great. This is not great at all. Intelligent marksman coming out here for A. That makes sense. He's going to need to rely on these marksmen quite a bit if the Arclights get out of hand. Oh, what's it going to be for... So the skill specialist is quite nice because it does speed up the shield drop quite a bit. All of a sudden you can start deploying these shields quite often, and it turns other skills into something that become much more viable. Things like the lightning storm, the nuke, all of a sudden you're very likely to play them at least twice in the game. Looks like we see range on the Arclights for A. Definitely worthwhile. It's going to become an Arclight Chaff war, it looks like. These Stormcallers, unfortunately, are just able to deal a lot of damage. I wouldn't be apropos to the Stormcallers getting the high explosive rounds, just to help clear away this chaff a little bit quicker, or even getting a range increase just to deal with this chaff a little bit quicker. These are the only things really dealing damage to the tanks as well currently. Tanks have... Ooh, if the tanks got a level, they would suddenly become much more dangerous. I wouldn't be surprised if A does make a tank transition at some point in the game, just because the tanks could deal with a lot of these units quickly. Looks like Intelligent Marksman also coming out for our blue player. He is a little behind on the number of marksmen, but eventually he could catch up. There's 2 extra marksmen on the side of A, but we shall see. Dancing Crawlers, interesting choice. I think this is just to try and pull the center. So this is, although there aren't Stormcallers on the field, which is normally why we see the Dancing Crawlers, if you're able to pull all of these units towards the center, your Stormcallers are much more likely to get good shots in. So all of these units are just coming down the line. If the Stormcallers turn, they should be able to just start nuking down these units. I think that's going to work out for them. These snipers really aren't shooting much currently, but over the course of time they might get online and start shooting at Arclights. That's really what he needs to be taken out here. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. These crawlers are able to get in, though, on the snipers once again. There's still not enough wave clear on the left. Go, little crawlers, go. Pulling things away, allowing these Stormcallers to get shots in on the sniper. Really good choice. Wow. This is like a surgical strike here. It's like a true chess game. Both players have basically the same pieces, but just a few key differences in both positioning and unit composition is really helping our blue player just continue the dominance of the field. This is a really good game to dissect and study if you're interested in learning a lot more about Mechabellum. There just needs to be a little bit more long-ranged units here for A, and that's really costing him quite a bit here. Both these units have range, the snipers and the Arclights, but they're still not performing as well as many of these Stormcallers. The Stormcallers are allied top 1 or top 2 in both cases here for our blue player. Something that can shut this down would be very important. Either spend the money and grab a few missile interceptors. I mean, these Stormcallers are only level 1, and they're outperforming a lot of the level 2 and level 3 units on the field. Also, taking a look and seeing, hey, my snipers are the thing that are really doing it for me. Let's lean into that. A realizes it and grabs a few more snipers. That's going to be really important. The double tap on the snipers as well. This will help them get through shields and also just clear away these extremely annoying arc lights. Let's see if that is enough. Both players have spent the majority of their cash. Our blue player still has a good amount. Oh man, I like these guys. They're just going to be touching each other as they run by. Hey, what's going on, Jim Bob? Well done. A few more Fang. These Fang are going to be important just to pull units. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing some Fang just to delay these flanks a little bit. They drop extremely quickly. 3 units of Fang. Okay. That is a lot of extra meat just to get shot by these snipers. If the Fang ever get shields, suddenly sniper shots become much, much more difficult to land on the proper units. Man, that's a lot of extra shielding. If the Stormcallers ever are the last things to survive, they will be able to just survive underneath the shield for quite a bit longer. And that's the other thing that's unfortunate here for A, is that these Stormcallers are just rattle-tattling away and knocking down his shields. That's a lot of money that's being spent there. Man, these Fang actually coming in good, defending this flank for a little while before the arc light turns. Man, this is a lot of snipers though. There are enough Fang to kind of deal with this, but down go a lot of the arc lights, and let's see if these snipers will be enough. They should outrange the Stormcallers by a little bit. 180 versus 180. No, they don't. That's unfortunate. And with the snipers taking a little bit longer to reload, it looks good though. They're level 3, meaning that they're able to take a lot more shots. Oh no. They have to turn. 1 sniper left. He's in on some Fang. Oh, that's annoying. But it's only a small cut. A's survival has become much more relevant now. If he can take 2 more small cuts like this, I would consider that a win, as he's slowly able to pull the game back. Oh, shield specialist for A, probably worthwhile. Makes those shields just significantly better. I wouldn't be surprised if both players don't grab it. It looks like we see some recycling here for A as well. I think that was a unit of arc lights that got just recycled there. Not a bad choice. I'm surprised that our blue player hasn't upgraded these Stormcallers. Given that the Stormcallers are literally the top performing unit, I think giving them some upgrades and even leaning into them a bit might be worthwhile. But choosing not to. Let's see if that eventually bites him. We see a few more... It looks like more arc lights coming out here for A. He's a little worried about the unit or the amount of crawlers, and these crawlers are positioned extremely well just to come in multiple waves just to keep disabling the snipers. I would love to see these Fang grab shields. That would be super annoying if even 2 or 3 of the Fang survive. Granted, the double tap on the snipers does deal with the shields quite well, but instead of killing... Or, well, actually, no, the double tap just deals with the shields very well. It looks like our blue player's thinking the same way, though. Hey, shielded Fang, they have significantly more survivability against the arc lights, and also they can just keep pulling sniper shots. Really doesn't matter, because the snipers do have that double tap. The first shot will knock off the shield, the second shot will kill the Fang. So, it's kind of the same thing anyways. More shields, more good. And I do like that our red player A here is protecting their flanks very well against any type of aggression. Big battle right down the center. Man, it is like true chess pieces. The final length of these crawlers are coming out, but interestingly, our blue player has had these crawlers go all the way to the back line. That's really important because they're going to come back in once the majority of the chaff is cleared. Both players actually doing so. That way the snipers get distracted just that little while longer. Oh no. These little Fang are absorbing the damage that they need to, and these snipers are once again caught out. How are the Stormcallers performing? They're still performing exceedingly well. I think they could use an upgrade and maybe some range just to keep pounding away, but A is in a really tough spot. He needs to start shutting down some of these units. Maybe a Vulcan? You know, a Vulcan wouldn't go... Yeah, there it is. Extended Vulcan range. A Vulcan wouldn't go astray here for either player. Orbital Bombardment. A's got the cash. He can drop out 2 Vulcans and give them range. It's $800, $300 for the range. He's got the cash. Man, some Vulcans with range would really deal with a lot of this chaff. It's kind of the big brothers of the arc lights in this case. Honestly, I'd recycle this arc light and give the Vulcan the range and that laser sight, just so that it can blink away at basically everything. If A doesn't grab a shield, though, oh no, he's out of shields. He burns the oil. He knows that the orbital bombardment is something that could happen to him. More Stormcallers. Yes, our blue player has finally realized, hey, you know what's actually working really well for me? These Stormcallers. These Stormcallers are number 1 and number 2, getting the most kills throughout most of my units in these last couple of rounds. Probably worthwhile just having some of them. More Dance of the Crawlers for both players. Will our blue player remember? He's got 33 seconds to play it out, though, and he also thinks that the game is going to end. Grabs the extended range and the extra cash. I think he's just going for the killing blow. A wise decision. Interestingly, our red player has chosen to just try and win a single flank. This isn't a bad idea. So what we often see... Oh no, there's 3 Vulcan. Okay, that actually might make the difference. But what you can do is, if you're not sure if 1 Vulcan will be enough to clear away a flank or 1 unit, just double up on 1 flank. Make sure you win that flank in total. That way, even if you lose the game, you only lose by a small portion. And this Vulcan is doing a great job at just clearing away all of these little itty-bitty fang. Really, really good play here. Unfortunately, these snipers should be able to clear away the Vulcan very quickly if they get online. Oh no, there's so many shields here. The Vulcan are really going to struggle with that. Will it be enough damage to kill A is the next question that we have to look at. I don't think so. I think these snipers will be able to plink away at quite a few of these units and kind of deal with it, but man, those shields are really going to become an issue. And our red player really just needs some Stormcallers of his own. Is it enough to kill him? It's going to be very close. Oh, it is. Great plays by both players. Unfortunately, A will not be going to the final round. Good job. We'll see you in the next round. Welcome back to what is potentially our finals. I guess for you guys, it's just a quick cut. Marksman Specialist, Marksman Sledgehammer for our potential blue player. I have a feeling he'll end up as the red player. And a Rhino Specialist. Okay. We have seen this happen quite a bit. Did these players flip sides? Yeah, they did. I don't know why that's the case. Super weird. Wow. That's a good amount of snipers, tanks, and crawlers. This is basically a complete army at this point. Very, very difficult to deal with. Unfortunately, they all are moving a little slow. I'm worried about our blue player's wave clear initially. I'm not sure there'll be enough, just because these crawlers will get in and online very quickly. Unfortunately for our red player, if the Stormcallers shoot at the tanks, I think that we'll probably be engaging around here. We'll see if the crawlers end up right on top of these tanks. If they do, they're very likely to be destroyed by the Stormcaller shots as well. We'll see though. Low entity count armies for both players should be very close. Oh, here we go. First engagement. I think it's going to go in the way of our blue player, but we'll find out. It all comes down to these Stormcaller shots. And unfortunately, I think they're going to be pretty darn good. They'll decimate the tanks and clear away a lot of the crawlers. These little Fang have a lot of work to do, though, both in absorbing tank shots and absorbing Stormcaller or sniper shots. And I don't think there's enough here to hold it. Our red player seems to be pushing forward. There's a lot of tanks left, and now the snipers are killing off Stormcallers. There's one unit of Fang here that are doing a good job pulling aggro, but unfortunately there just isn't enough meat. These Stormcallers will be destroyed. Well done by the red player. Again, just basically a complete army to spawn with. You have good medium units to take up a lot of fire and to clear chaff. Good single point damage. Wow, the tech specialist this early is very powerful. A lot of players love the heavy hackers, but oh my gosh, really? One player opting not to grab the tech spec. Okay. You know what? It's not a bad choice. I'm surprised, but it's not a bad choice whatsoever. A lot more crawlers coming out here for our red player, a lot more crawlers coming out for our blue player. Is there going to be any flanking? Not yet. Okay. And the players go off very quickly. Whose missile is this? It is our blue players. Blammo. Down go the tanks. With the tanks destroyed, I don't think that left-hand side will deal very well. We'll see, though. Once again, the Stormcaller shots go out. They clear away... Oh, not nearly as good. They cleared away some crawlers. But now that there's an engagement in the center, the Stormcallers have a better chance of shooting. not only that, the Fang have a good DPS rate if they're not just absolutely obliterated by crawlers. And this is looking pretty good. This is looking pretty good for our blue player. Having those crawlers just there to hold that line for a little while longer made a big difference. And this is going to be a significant amount of damage. Ouch. Ouch indeed. The tech spec hasn't been utilized yet, but it could be utilized on that Rhino. Ooh, the nano repair kit on the Rhino would be brutal. Or if the Rhino gets a lot of upgrades, suddenly placing a Rhino in the backline would be good. All right, here's this Rhino. If he gets the automatic HP restore as well, I don't believe they stack. Normally equipment does override, but it would be really interesting to see this Rhino with the detonation core, the final blitz, charge in there and just deal the damage that needs to be done. There's a good amount of snipers, but over the course of time, these Rhinos could become much, much more deadly. Our blue player was the champion last week. Let's see if they can continue their winning streak. A few more snipers. Okay. And I think this Vulcan is a good play by our red player, just because if the chaff is cleared away, I don't really think our blue player stands much of a chance. Most of their cash is currently spent on this chaff. However, they are going to start earning just a little bit more cash over time. Down goes the initial crawler wave, but some survive. Will it be enough to delay here? I don't really think they're too important, as the majority of the units wouldn't be in contact anyways. Ooh, wow. Dodging quite well. The Rhino's able to survive in the fire, but the snipers will eventually bring it down. Unfortunately, this fire's DPS is being wasted massively on this Rhino. The Rhino's pushing forward. It should drop here before the Vulcan. I would think. Maybe not. Wow, the Rhino's just punching through it. Well done, Rhino. It did exactly what it needed to do. That must be frustrating for our red player. That was huge. The Rhino just tanked thousands and thousands of points of damage there. It'd be really great to actually see how much damage is tanked by our units. It's not currently a stat that's tracked, but this Rhino took a huge amount of damage. Holy crap. Our red player gets hit pretty darn hard, putting them in the danger zone. We have seen these games just be brutal, and the amount of damage that each player takes. Ooh. Senior attack spec coming out for the red player. I would assume it will come out for our blue player as well. That's hard to pass up. That is very hard to pass up. The enhancement module isn't really worth it at this point, but we'll see. Our red player opted to grab another Vulcan and a unit of Stormcallers of their own. I think this is a wise decision, as a lot of these units that are kind of hanging out in the backline would be great Stormcaller targets. A few upgrades as well. What did our blue player pick? Yes, it's the Senior Attack Specialist. It does kind of nerf the amount of units that you're going to be playing, at least this round, but definitely worthwhile. Will these crawlers go to town on each other? No. Instead, the crawlers played in the backline just to support that Rhino a little bit. A couple of Wasps. We've seen it before in the tournament, but next turn, if either player goes super heavy into Wasps, that could be aggressive here. A little bit less worthwhile for our red player, as our blue player has protected himself quite well against that. Ooh, and the extra HP could make a difference here for this Rhino. The nano repair kit works off of the maximum HP that your unit has, so that's why I was interested in this field recovery, or the field maintenance. Oh, and the little crawlers will be squaring off against each other. It should go in the way of our blue player, at least initially, yeah, and that does help a little bit. At least the Stormcallers will be able to shoot at big groups of crawlers, but unfortunately that pulls all the crawlers right in to be slain. The Rhino is going to do a great job here. If it can get in, clear these Stormcallers and the sniper, there's basically nothing else that can contest it besides this level 3 sniper. Let's see how well it does. It's taken a lot of damage. Probably another 2 volleys and the Rhino will go down. Oh, it's going after the tower. Down the tower goes, and that will do it here for our red player. Doesn't look like he even won the left-hand side. That is rough. It's not going to be enough to put them down, but our blue player is showing why they've been champion time and time again. If you haven't seen any of the previous casts, our blue player has been on here many times before and has normally gotten first through third place. Man, that super heavy armor would be quite fun for the blue player if they opted to go with another Rhino on this flank. Okay. best buddy coming out for the Vulcan, best partner even. There's going to be a lot more snipers on the field now, and they will have range. That should help take care of these Rhinos. And the Vulcan Sniper is quite a good build. These units work very well in synergy with each other. Missile coming out from the red player. It's free. You get to use it quite often. I really like it as a tech, and it looks like it will clear away 2.5 units. Maybe only 2, depending on how quick these little Fang get out of the way. That's quite good. The other great thing about the best partner is that in low entity count number armies, the best partner works really well because you just continually get at least 3 extra units a turn, and they're free. And they spawn at the same level as the Vulcans. So if the Vulcan continue to grow, so too will the snipers. Where is this mothership going to be played out? Ooh, and just as we predicted, the mass Wasp with a supporting mama ship. This might just put our red player in the ground. Let's see if there's enough snipers to deal with it. These Fang might clear off a unit of Wasps. But I would be surprised. Missiles dropping. Let's see if it's enough. Losing all these units on the right-hand side is going to really hamper this, though. Wasps are spawning. The little Fang are starting to clear them away. The center looks like a loss. Good damage there on that tower. Oh, no. The mama ship's in. The Fang were good enough to clear away 1 unit of Wasps, but will they be enough to clear away the second? We'll find out. It looks good. The sniper's already on the mothership. Mothership is only charging down the sniper, though. Oh my gosh, no! The sniper's aggroed on this super tanky Rhino. Mama ship's gonna grab the tower. Oh my. Accidentally activated autocam there. I do apologize. Oh no. This is looking rough. This is looking really rough. This mothership can potentially win the game from this point on. Let's see what happens. Yep, that's gonna be game. That is gonna be game. Ooh, the motion sickness is real. Well done to our blue player, showing why they're the champion. Let's see if there's another game in the rounds. Ooh, potentially. Let's take a quick look here. This isn't something we do very often on the channel, but this will determine whether or not there's a victor or another game to be played. Red and blue. Wow, look at these beautiful unit deployments. This laser's going to do a ton of damage. Do the Phoenix respawn? They do not. Oh no. Down go 2 groups of Phoenix plus half a unit as well. These Phoenix are extremely necessary, it looks like, to take care of the sniper and the Stormcaller aggression. That's a very, very good ion blast. Oh, no indeed. A couple of these missile units may survive to kind of clean up some of the damage that would be coming in, but it's not going to be a lot. Snipers at level 3 can survive the fire. At level 1, not so much. Burning down a lot of units here. It's just a matter of how long can the round last. Not quite enough. Our blue player takes significant damage. Wow, round 5. Neither of these players have taken much damage. That's quite good. We might see a much longer game on our hands. Senior attack specialist versus the Amp Core. Interesting. I wonder what prompted the red player not to grab the senior attack specialist. Very powerful to have. I would love... Oh, these Phoenix can't respawn. The tech is not available. Okay. Interesting choices. This backline is so open. Just 2 units of extremely aggressive crawlers could really take out this backline. The crawlers that can both burrow underground and have mechanical rage move so quickly. They could just absolutely decimate these snipers. That might be worthwhile. Let's see what is played, though. I do like all of these Stormcallers. With the fire, they're able to just immediately start pounding away at these shields, burn off a lot of these slower units, and also outrange these snipers, especially if they were to get the range enhancement. No, opting for the Overlord. Okay. Hey, launcher Overload is really nice just because they fire significantly quicker. Then you get the range to put them right back on that long range. They still outrange the snipers too. These Stormcallers should do extremely well. The old arc lights are dealing a good amount of damage. Down goes the sniper. Man, that guy didn't really have a prayer. And the Overlords are shooting very, very quickly. This should get through the shields at breakneck speed. And hopefully allow the Phoenix to deal real damage. Phoenix, although they deal a lot of damage, they have quite a long reload time. Meaning that they don't really perform super well against shields. Looks like there's still some crawlers here to absorb sniper fire. Very much worthwhile. The Phoenix are pushing through on the right, getting decimated on the left, but buying enough time for these Stormcaller shots to keep landing. Oh no. This is going to be a lot of damage coming out on the red player. Great play by our blue player. Really good play. Turning these Stormcallers into rapid reloading machine guns really made a difference. Genie manufacturing for the blue player. Definitely worthwhile. Elite hackers could be a lot of fun. Maybe not against this number of Phoenix. Probably a poor choice. Improved fortresses. Really? They're more expensive. I normally don't grab an improved card unless I have a couple of these units already on the field. But having them is going to be quite nice. This fortress has a ton of HP. 120,000 HP with the amp core. He's going to be moving faster. He's going to be hitting harder. And the... oh, I hate this upgrade. The anti-air barrage. Unless it's been changed recently, the anti-air barrage is hot garbage, in my opinion. I have seen so many of these missiles pass right through Phoenix, pass right over Wasps, or half of them just go the wrong direction. But hey, at least it's a little bit more anti-air. Granted, this does not scale. The missiles deal 900 damage no matter what. If your fortress is level 5, the way that I read this and the way that it's played for me is that it still only does 900 damage. I do love these Distraction Fang. Distraction Fang are great. They're going to pull a ton of these Stormcallers and these Phoenix away, meaning that this fortress will be able to survive significantly longer. Out it goes. It's launching its anti-air barrages. It looks like some of the Phoenix get cleared away from it. I don't think the fortress... oh, this one might survive long enough to get another barrage out. It did kill an extra Phoenix, and that bought a lot of time for these units. Is it enough, though? These Stormcaller batteries are just firing away, and these snipers don't have the range to deal with it. They just are getting completely outclassed here. The fire is able to clear away all of the little shooting squads and the Fang that are out. It's not looking good. This is going to be a big win for our blue player once again. Mass Stormcaller. I wonder if our red player will play out a ton of missile interceptors. It might be the cheapest way to deal with this. Just grab like 7 missile interceptors. It would seriously shut down the damage that our blue player is putting out. Red grabs the intensive training. It might go on these fortress. It would give them a ton of HP, but they're really suffering from these Stormcaller shots. The Distraction Fang worked somewhat, but they really only lasted for like 5 seconds there, and there isn't enough fast DPS rushing the line and dealing damage. What does our blue player pick up? Strike Specialist would be good. Again, we could see a Strike Specialist with Mass Phoenix would do exceedingly well here. Yes, these shooting squad would be able to shoot down some of them, but or even Mass Wasp going out on these flanks would be extremely powerful. It's a great way just to end a game. If you think you're in... oh my god, I think he spotted it. Is our blue player going to do the Mass Wasp? No. It looks like these Wasps are going to go on the front line. They'll get shot down by snipers, but... I don't know if this is the play. They'll get shot down by the Overlords as well, but it will prompt the anti-air barrage, which actually proccing that is quite good because it takes a long time for this to come back online, which might give the Phoenix enough time to get in here and deal with these fortresses. Level 2 fortress on the left. It might work. It might just work. I don't think so. I think our red player is doomed. Interesting choice here with these Wasps, though. Let's see how well it works. I think they'll be able to dodge a lot of the anti-air just because they have a set movement path. Out comes all the anti-air barrages, and yeah, some of them survive. That will proc another anti-air barrage if these two do live. No, it doesn't look like they will. Oh well, good enough. Stormcaller shots still dealing the damage that they need to do. Because there's the fire, it just means that all of these Fang that are meant to follow these fortresses in can't. And unfortunately, that means all of those Fang don't even land a single shot. At least I didn't see any Fang shooting there. It's all down to these snipers, and the snipers have just way too many units to shoot at. They're outranged by the Stormcallers. There's no way for them to pull this forward. I do like the Wasp play. It was kind of like a troll play, honestly. Now, this means, I believe, that we are going to have another game for the finals. We shall see here in a moment. Congratulations to both players. Great games by both players. We'll see you in the next round or announcing the finalists. Our championship game, everybody. It looks like we did have one more round. And these are by far some of the best players in the world. I'm really interested to see what goes on in this game. Oh, wow. This speed specialist has a lot of HP. Not only that, yeah, some very good units. Our red player thinks so as well. I'd be interested to see if our Rhino specialist gets picked here or the giant. Generally, these are considered very, very powerful. The giant actually comes with some good units, non-traditional units, I should say. Instead, we see the Rhino specialist coming out here for our red player. I believe they were number 4. Okay. Number 4 versus the old champion. Let's see if they can pull it out. Very good deployment. Very standard. I like that they're adjusting their units a little bit. Just not using the recommended unit formations. Looks like our blue player is making some transitions as well. Ooh, this is tough. Does our blue player opt for some chaff? There's only 2 tanks for wave clear. A good choice in these snipers for the red player. Yes, and our blue player looks like they're going to grab at least 1 more unit of chaff. I would consider a second. Although these Mustang will do okay at clearing away chaff, they need support, and crawlers can easily overwhelm Mustang, at least in the early game. Once the Mustang get a couple of upgrades or some key tech choices, such as the high explosive ammo, crawlers and Fang don't stand a chance against them, but for now they might deal a little bit of damage. Looks like the crawlers are also going to be used to shield these tanks. Tanks generally have more wave clear than Mustang, just because they do have that splash damage right out the gate, but it looks like the Mustang are enough to push through this unit of crawlers here on the right. The second unit of crawlers is going to be able to get in here and start dealing with the tanks, though. It's going to be 3 snipers versus 2. They should be able to clear away these tanks quick enough. The question is, will any Mustang survive to absorb enemy sniper fire? It looks like the answer is yes on the right. On the left, not so much. Oh, and that is a trade. Our blue player takes a little bit of damage, but at this point, it's just kind of a way to size each other up. The first round, you normally don't see too much damage going out. Extended range on the sledgehammers for our red player. Definitely worthwhile, as they're his main chaff clear. And the snipers are still low enough that it should take them 2 shots to take out the tanks anyways. 2,000 damage. Oh, no. 48. 84. Okay. Actually, yeah, the tanks can still absorb 2 shots. That's interesting. That would have been quite fun if it meant that the snipers did one-shot them, but the answer is no. A lot of tanks coming out here for our red player. Unfortunately, this missile... Ooh, it does... The tanks dodge, duck, and weave out of the way of a missile strike. And a Vulcan coming out here for our blue player. Had to sacrifice a unit of Mustang to make that work, though. Is it gonna work? Probably, honestly, with both of these snipers going down. The tanks won't have enough damage to really get through the Mustang. Not only that, or the Vulcan. Not only that, they have a lot less HP. So the Vulcan should deal with them quite well. Down go both of the snipers. That's why it's important to space your units out. Just because, obviously, all single point damage being located in one area is quite bad. Man, this Vulcan clears the these units so much quicker. Gee Louise, these poor tanks. Until the tanks have the mechanical rage upgrade, their rate of fire is just so bad. So incredibly bad. The Vulcan is easily able to start chewing through them, especially with the support of these snipers. I think our blue player has a pretty good build already going for him. The Vulcan sniper is very hard to deal with. Tanks need a lot of levels and a lot of upgrades to really come online. And unfortunately, the tower dropping first here is probably bad for these tanks, but honestly might not affect them too much. They're already aggroing on the sniper. Ooh, no. And these snipers seem to be going in without the support of the Vulcan. That's unfortunate. These little tanks are going to plink away at the Vulcan. They won't be able to kill it, but at least he got himself 200 less damage just due to that deployment there. Ouch. Taking 400 is never what you want. Of course, taking any damage is bad, but it does hurt when you hear that thump. Barrier comes out for our blue player. Photon coating for the red. Makes sense. There's a Vulcan on this flank. Down go all the Mustang. A very, very low entity count army here for our blue player. Rhino is out. Rhino will have the photon coating. That should absorb a ton of damage from the Vulcan. It won't do very well against the snipers, but it should absorb a ton of damage. And as we've seen before, this Rhino, if it gets close enough, can actually punch down the Vulcan and kill it. I would like to see some more snipers or... Ah, there we go. There's the mechanical rage on these sledgehammers. It just means that they'll be able to take out that chaff so much quicker. They need to buy a lot of time because currently there's only 2 snipers on the field here for our red player. So the tanks can overwhelm the Vulcan. They just need some really, really key upgrades to make it there. If they get the armor enhancement and the field maintenance, they should be able to withstand a lot of the damage that the Vulcan put out. Not only that, survive significantly longer against sniper shots. That way these backline snipers can do the damage that they need to do. Normally when you're facing really low entity count armies like this one, you want to have as many snipers as possible. Oh, and that missile goes in and deals a lot of damage. Look at these tanks go, though. They've already taken out like a quarter of the health of the Vulcan. This little Rhino is doing a great job. He's absorbing a lot of damage. He needs to get in there and kill off these snipers. It's just not quite enough. Just not quite enough. And there's a lot of enemy snipers on the field now. The best partner was a great choice here for these Vulcan. It's just having a lot more snipers is very good against the tank line. And these tanks shouldn't survive too long against this. Also, this Vulcan will earn itself a level, meaning that the barrier won't matter, but the damage and health increase is great, and also the sniper will now be level 2. Oh no, our red player's in a really rough spot. He needs a lot more snipers, or heck, even some Phoenix. Phoenix deal more damage. Heavy armor coming out for our blue player. Almost certainly going to go onto this Vulcan. Yep, saw that coming. Mass upgrades for the snipers as well, so that they can cut through this tank aggression. And there's the Fang to help support the Vulcan. If the Fang come out, probably in front of the Vulcan, just to absorb tank shots, it's quite good. Oh, can these? No, the tanks cannot get the electromagnetic upgrade. Possibly some crawlers in the backline wouldn't do poorly here. The Vulcan would almost certainly clean them up, but it would delay the snipers a little while. I bet that's what he's weighing it up. Can I get enough crawlers out to make this worthwhile? The guarding is pretty good, but some crawlers way back in the backline here might do enough. Just might. And I actually like these Fang deployments. Just really boxing in the Vulcan. That way it's pretty safe on all flanks. What did our red player pick up there? Oh, he did grab the crawler upgrade and some Stormcallers. Very good choice. The majority of this army is slow moving. The Stormcallers are a little bit behind on levels, though, if he does opt to deploy another one. Should help him clear away this Vulcan's shield much more quickly, though. We'll see. Ooh, unfortunately, this Rhino is going to get slowed down. The photon coating is enough to keep it online for a little while, and it could even get the field maintenance just to keep itself up a little bit longer. But we shall see. Oh, interesting. Our red player opted to play the crawlers in his own backline. That might not be a bad option here. Oh no, and the slowdown on this Rhino is huge. He's already taken half of his damage in sniper shots. That is just devastating. Honestly, I would consider recycling that Rhino. It's not really doing much, and you could use the cash either for some more snipers or some more Stormcallers. The Stormcallers did a great job clearing away this Vulcan. Now the tanks can get online, absorb a bunch of damage, and the Stormcallers can keep killing. Oh man, that one little Fang absorbed 2 sniper shots. That's exactly what you want. The right has fallen before the left. Can these Stormcallers deal enough damage? Man, they just really do a great job against giants, and that slowdown is huge. Down goes the Vulcan. I bet the Stormcallers will clear away both these snipers as well with the next barrage. There's even some tanks to support this. Oh no, that sniper might get in time though. It does not. Our red player makes a small comeback. That is great. Those Stormcallers really made a big difference. Stormcallers are so good against land-based giants units. Ooh, Mama Ship, portable shield. Or shield device is also quite good, but looks like our blue player opted for the portable shield, installed it on a Vulcan. This Rhino is just feeding XP at this point. I would get rid of it. That's a lot of extra money, and you could put that on a unit that's actually worthwhile. These tanks would love it. Level 3 tanks, not taking a lot of damage. They're a little bit far back, though. Our blue player looks like they just played one Vulcan. No Fang yet. Oh, that missile is going to be devastating if it lands on the red player. A couple more Stormcallers would not go amiss here for our red player. He could just build out the battery. Once you have 3 or 4 of a unit, that's when you really start upgrading them. Looks like the Nano Repair Kit goes out on these tanks. That's quite good. It will really help them deal with the Vulcan damage and give them a little bit more survivability against the marksman. Not a lot, but a little bit. Both players taking their sweet time. But I would rather them wait, take their time, and make great plays than kind of mash through. It's probably my #1 tip for Mechabellum. You just use the time, man. You have 90 seconds, so at least use 60 seconds. Finally, our red player realizes, hey, some more snipers wouldn't go amiss here. I need to win the sniper war, and having that range on these snipers should do it. I'd really like it if he got rid of this Rhino or ran it backwards. Instead, he's going to dance the Rhino. Okay. It should still absorb a ton of damage for him. Down goes the missile. There's no supporting batteries. Luckily, these tanks are healing, and at level 3, they will deal with this Vulcan significantly quicker. Snipers are already online, pounding away at them. Ooh, and interestingly enough, that Rhino did a great job in delaying. I don't think it's enough, though. I really don't think it's enough. It looks like there still might be 3 Vulcan that survive this engagement, and if they do, that is going to... might actually kill our red player. Man, those Stormcallers dying just meant that there really wasn't any chaff clear. Once the tanks went down. Is he dead? Yes! Congratulations to our blue player. What a commanding win. Let's take a look at the victory screen. And there we have it. We have our champion, we have our runner-up, and we have our 3rd place. Good job on Rat. Congratulations to all the players who did play within the tournament. If you see your name listed here, great job. I really appreciate you coming out here for these tournaments. If you like the channel, please like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next tournament, the Mechabellum University 2v2 Tuesday, or whatever other channel you enjoy watching. Show, I should say. Congratulations. We'll see you in the next one.